Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. It's nice and sunny. So again, it's another great edition here on Karista Live TV. And joining me today are three according to my team, very handsome men. Yes, very handsome, fun men. And today's topic is we're going to talk about the best areas to invest in BC. We have a lot of investors, and they're very curious about where they should put their money in. So we're going to first introduce our wonderful speakers. So we have John Cooper. John Cooper, you and I have been working for a while, and he's going to be talking about the island. Why is it a good idea to invest there? And we have Doren Quinton, and he's going to be talking about why Kamloops. And then we have Jordan Spitters, and he's going to be talking about where to invest in Chilliwack and Abbotsford and why. So without further ado, John, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Bernadette. I always love speaking with you and your community of investors and potential investors. I'm John Cooper. I'm with the John Cooper Real Estate Group, EXP Realty, based out of Nanaimo, British Columbia. And we serve the central Vancouver Island region, which extends from Duncan to the south all the way to Qualicum Beach to the north. Nanaimo is experiencing some unprecedented growth right now. I've been speaking about the Nanaimo opportunity with Bernadette and her investor clients now for several years. And what's fascinating is so many of the predictions that I've been talking about for years and years are finally coming to fruition here in Nanaimo as in a way that we've never experienced before. And I used to spend a lot of time answering why Nanaimo. In fact, that used to be the head slide on my presentation, and people aren't asking anymore. They're not asking why Nanaimo. They seem to really understand why. And one of the main reasons why is exactly what you're seeing on the slide there right now. We are the most connected waterfront city in British Columbia. And there's a couple keywords there that I'm going to touch on, which really speak to the opportunity here. Number one is we are the only market today that you're going to hear from that is connected to the Pacific Ocean. So we are a waterfront community. We live and breathe the ocean air. We stare at it on the daily. And we all know how waterfront communities all over the globe, if you look at some of the highest priced markets in the world, they tend to be around the ocean. And so I'm speaking to the future of Nanaimo as we grow into a more sophisticated city and community. So here is why is Nanaimo as popular as it is right now? As I already mentioned, we're the most connected city on Vancouver Island, which means to say you can live here without a lot of compromise. If you need to get to Vancouver, it's 17-minute seaplane ride away. If you need to get to Victoria, it's a 75-minute drive away. Okay, so we've got ultra convenient access to two cities, by the way, where the average single family detached home price extends way beyond $1 million. So if you want a seaside city lifestyle in Vancouver or Victoria, get out your monster checkbook. But there still is an opportunity here in the Nanaimo area. Okay, we have 33 plane and helicopter connections per day to the mainland, 16 ferry connections per day. There's a passenger ferry one day that'll likely going to arrive here, which will go from downtown Nanaimo to downtown Vancouver with the expected to connect with the transit and the sea bus and all that fun stuff. We have the largest mall on Vancouver Island, which a lot of people don't know about. That's including Victoria. And of course, one of the reasons that attracted me here, other than just wanting to be a part of a seaside city, is that the outdoor opportunities within minutes of downtown Nanaimo are some of what you've never seen before. Beautiful lakes and rivers and mountains, really easily to get to. So why invest now, specifically now? And these are some trends that are very much coming to fruition right now. Okay, the baby boomers want to retire and they need cash, which is to say 80% of baby boomers need to access the equity in their home in order to retire. And here's what I've found. I've been in real estate now in Central Island for 15 years. And here's what I've noticed is nobody moves east. Those of us that are born and raised in a seaside community move east for only two reasons and two reasons only. And I think there are zero exceptions to this theory, is we move east for two reasons: love or money. And if you don't have a love or money motivator, then my experience of those of us that were born on the West Coast don't move away from the West Coast. And what Nanaimo is for that market is they're not willing to move to an area where they have to shovel snow, and they're not willing to move to an area where they can't access the ocean, because that's the lifestyle they've come to know. And we are the only market that they can afford that meets those two objectives, where they can still sell their home and put a bunch of equity in their pocket to be able to continue to live. So that is the main market driver here right now. Add to that COVID's impact on telecommuting, and now people are working from home more than ever, and realizing, well, why do I need to live in a 400 square foot condo in Burnaby when I could buy a home for the same price in Nanaimo and have a yard and a white picket fence and all that stuff. The other thing too, which every market in North America is experiencing, is their introspective, I call it #best life, which is people going through that best life analysis and realizing, why am I waiting to move to the island? I'm just going to do it now. And those are the two phone calls that I get every day. So we are the most affordable best weather in Canada, #Best Coast. We're also the 4th largest tech sector in British Columbia. The average house cost in Nanaimo, when I started doing these seminars with Bernadette, I think we started doing these when we were around the 450 range. 450 average house price was not very long ago. We're talking 2017. And now our average house price has just crested $700K. So we're looking at about $650 to $700K for an average house in Nanaimo. Crazy. The locals here's minds are blown. They've never seen house prices so high. I'm here to tell them that this was an average benchmark metric that we hit in my hometown of South Surrey White Rock back in 2003, and it's only gone up since then. So in terms of sustainability of appreciation, we are good there. So I've already talked about this. So this is our post-COVID recovery. Our trading volume was down in May. We've gone way past that and made up for it all. We have the lowest inventory we've experienced in 20 years. Prices are up 14% over last year. And I think that supply is going to continue to remain low right into 2022. With COVID loosening up now and the ferries getting back on and people starting to get to travel again, we anticipate that Vancouver Island is going to be one of the top destinations for provincial travel. Tofino and areas like that. If you can only travel within British Columbia, you'd be hard pressed to find a better destination than Vancouver Island. And we think that's going to turn a lot more people on to this community that already aren't turned on to this community. People looking for more space, Boomy's access and the equity. So here are 4 success stories. And so these are clients that Bernadette has sent us over the last 18 months that purchased into properties and have seen those gains. So I've highlighted 4 of them here. Rosstown Road was a property that was purchased about 18 months ago by one of Bernadette's clients for $530,000. It's currently getting monthly revenue of $2,800. And that home, that's the Rosstown Road one, is this little beauty right here on your screen on the top left. That home is now worth at least $650,000, still maintaining it's just south of $3,000 in monthly revenue. A very, very, there, Lodi's on the call. That's her house. Good job, Lodi. You purchased an amazing house, and that one's worked out well. And don't sell it; it's going to continue. Okay, 940 St. Andrews, that was purchased for $405,000. Today, worth about $500,000. That was an owner-occupier, so that was a home they actually bought to live in. So it's not generating cash flow. But certainly, just imagine being able to tell that you bought a single-family detached home in a city for $405,000 in southwestern British Columbia. Okay, then we've got this Old City home here. This was a beauty house here. This was purchased for $537,000 monthly revenue, just south of $3,000. Today it's worth, I'm saying $660,000. I think that's a very conservative number, and I think we could actually touch into the 7s for this if we actually went to market on it today, given how low the inventory is. And another great example, this one on 519 Armishaw, which was a high-end home. They paid $740,000. This is like 2 months ago. It's already gone up, $25,000, and regardless of its value, is currently getting the owners there $3,500 of monthly revenue. So just a handful of people. These are real people that we've got from seminars just like this that have gone on to get some really profound gains. Now, for those of you that want to get an opportunity like this for yourself, here's 4. These are ready to go. This one came on the market this morning. This is 953 Bruce Avenue. It's in the South Nanaimo neighborhood. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2,100 square feet. Currently, actually not estimated. This is actual market rents of $2,700 a month, priced at $574,900. A large corner lot close to the University District shopping area, close to the university, which gives it a really high rental demand. Okay, here's another one, 1090 Woodlands. This is in the central Nanaimo. This is our hospital district, so very popular for a lot of different reasons. Good family neighborhood, a lot of level lots here, which is not that easy to come by in Nanaimo. We have a very hilly topography. And so here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom suite home, solidly built 1950s home, priced at $589,900. It has a 1-bedroom self-contained suite in addition to the main residence. So I'm putting the monthly rent at around $3,000. Close to downtown. It's an up and coming area. You're looking at a 5.5 to 6.5, maybe 7 if you could get the rents maxed out and the expenses down. That is readily available. Just came on the market. Here's a cute one. If you like character homes like I do, this is right in our downtown city center. I love the downtown. My office is in the downtown. I believe the downtown, if you look at post-pandemic trends after the last pandemic we had in the Spanish flu, we had exactly the same thing happen to everyone leaving the city. The pandemic ended and everyone rushed back to the city, and those that owned in city centers saw huge gains. I've increased my stake of city center investments personally. I've added 2 new units to my portfolio, specifically in the downtown. This home is in the downtown. It has a in-law suite. It's priced at $599,900. It's cute as a button. As you can tell, it's got the character that a lot of people are looking for, and you're getting just south of $3,000 a month rent for that one. Lastly, 959 Brecken Road. I love this neighborhood. If you're familiar with the South Surrey White Rock area, Brecken Hill is kind of like, I call it like the East Beach of Nanaimo. For those that know their South Surrey territory like I do, that's where I'm from, as I already mentioned. So this is a beauty little home, 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2,200 square feet, ocean views, walking distance to the Departure Bay Ferry. Currently has rent potential of $2,900, priced at $599,900, and on a large lot right in the Brecken Hill area, which is one of the areas that we love. So there's 4 opportunities available to you right now. I have confirmed those properties are still available. I believe a couple of them are holding offers to a certain date, which is a really common feature of our marketplace. But if you've got any questions about the Central Vancouver Island region, Nanaimo, I'd love to be able to help you. I put my contact information on the screen there. And I thank you guys for your time today.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much, John. And we're also repeating John's contact information here. I love what you talked about, the opportunities from our clients, what they've gained so much already. And you saw that those properties are so far, as of 12:43, are still available because the market is so hot. We don't know how long they'll be available for. And to those of you who are watching right now and you want to learn more about how to invest in real estate, meron po kaming show, meron kaming Tagalog na webinar po sa Sunday. It's a real estate investing webinar. Tuturuan namin kayo in Tagalog how to invest sa rental property. Yung mga pinakita ni John kanina, mga Pilipino po yun, nakabili po sila sa Nanaimo dun sa island. So please join us sa Sunday. Free po ito. Ang mission po namin is to educate more and more Pinoys na makabili ng rental property dito sa British Columbia, because we believe na yan ang best tool to achieve financial independence. Sorry about that. Sorry.
That's someone trying to buy one of those houses. Bernadette, send them my way.
Okay. Exactly. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna, yeah, they saw it. Now they're like, okay, I want 1, no, 2 or 3. Okay. So yes, so please, if you want to join us on Sunday, there's the link for the event and John's contact information if you want to know more about those properties. And so we're going to welcome our next presenter, Doren. Could you please share with us why? Why Kamloops now?
Sounds great, Bernadette. Thanks very much. Is my slideshow on the presentation there now?
Not yet. We can't see it yet.
Do what?
Can you share it? Like just click on the little computer in the middle. Like a...
Uh-oh.
Well, Doren gets that set up. I just want to point out that the phone number listed in my contact information in the chat is not correct.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
That's okay.
What should it be?
It should be 250-619-9207.
We're going to fix that shortly.
All right. Am I set up now, Bernadette, or no?
Oh, there we go.
Okay, we're good. There you go.
There we go.
You have
Now
to
it
pick.
doesn't have my slideshow on there, so hold on one second. Technology problems here.
If you guys, the rest of you are watching, if you have any questions for John, for Doren, and Jordan, please feel free to type it in. This is your opportunity to ask your experts in their area, or your concerns about investing. They're your guys. If you have any questions about what's happening in the market, they're the best people to ask as well. You can ask me money questions all day long, but property, there you go.
All right. Am I up there now?
Yes, you are.
Sounds great. Well, welcome to Kamloops. As John mentioned, he talked about the most connected waterfront, and Kamloops is the most connected interior hub in British Columbia. So I have to say that probably about 80% of my clients right now are coming from the Lower Mainland. So we're seeing a huge influx of people investing in Kamloops. Why are they investing in Kamloops? Because Kamloops makes a ton of sense. Our vacancy rate is basically zero. I've had so many clients post a suite or a home for sale, and they have 25 applications within 2 hours. It's just nuts here. And there are some great investment opportunities. I'm an accountant by trade, so I'm going to talk about numbers a lot more than I'm going to talk about houses, because that's in the end what matters is what comes into your pocketbook at the end of the month. So why invest in Kamloops? We're a lot more affordable than the Vancouver and many of the other major centers. As you can tell by the graph, we're still about, I don't know, a third or a fourth of the price of a home in the greater Vancouver area. And already talked about those vacancy rates. There are a lot of people here in Kamloops living in hotels waiting for rental suites to come up. And the demand is just incredible. We are a university city, so we have a lot of demand from the university students and as well. And Kamloops is all about lifestyle. We don't have the waterfront on the ocean with the nice waves, but we do have a ton of hiking, a ton of skiing, a ton of camping. We have 100 lakes within, well, it actually says 200 lakes within an hour's drive. And I certainly get out and enjoy those lakes. It's a great place to live and has great weather. It doesn't rain here. Maybe 2 or 3 times a summer, but always great weather. Some of the major employers in Kamloops, Interior Health School District, the university are probably the major ones. We have a lot of other industries as well, and Kamloops has really expanded in the last 3 years. So we have a quickly growing population and lots of new businesses and services coming to our area here. So there's a quick little snapshot about the average sales price over the last year. We've seen tremendous increases in house prices like every other location around Canada, and especially in BC because everyone loves BC. Average price in Kamloops right now is around 5.5, and that's up from about 4.5 last year. So we've seen about $100,000 increase in the last year, but there's still lots of opportunities out there for people to get into the market, and that's what we're talking about today. So here's a few other stats that you can see. Sales activity in April last month, up huge from last year, and when everyone was hunkering down from COVID, and well above the last 10-year average. New listings have also been a lot higher as people have been trying to get into the market and take advantage of these high prices. But we have so much demand; those homes are getting eaten up. The homes are usually selling in 2 or 3 days here. As you can tell from our active listings, we're half of where we were last year, and we're a quarter of where we have historically been, and really low inventory, as is the case everywhere. And you can see on the chart there at the bottom with the average price increase, slow, steady. I mean, that's real estate. Real estate's a great place to invest. So Bernadette had asked us to talk about some of our previous clients. I chose two. I've placed a lot of Bernadette's clients in the last couple of years here. The one on top here was bought 7 months ago. They bought this home for $505,000. It's a suited home, upstairs, downstairs. They're getting rent of $3,200 a month out of this. Cash flow is $722 a month. Net income $1,850 a month. Has almost a 22% ROI on it. And that home today would be worth about $620. So total return, when you consider that extra $105,000 on their down payment, total return 150% in the last 7 months, which is just fantastic. And if you annualize that number, it's actually a little over 250% return. You can hardly even beat that in the stock market nowadays. Looking a year ago, this home was purchased in May of last year, so it's exactly a year ago. This is a half duplex. It was purchased for $365,000. Total rent $2,300 a month. Return on investment 23% based on that rental. That does not include appreciation. So we look at that home today. It's worth $475,000. Annual return on investment so far 174% on that home. So anybody who's purchased with us over the last couple of years, not only are they getting a great rental return, they're also getting great appreciation. So what's available today? I decided to select 3 properties on a wide scale of, everybody has a chance to invest in this. So I've chosen a cheaper townhouse, I've chosen a half duplex, and I've chosen a single family home. And this townhouse is very close to the university. It's listed at $367,500. Newer home, built in 2007 and very well maintained. So there's very little maintenance, especially if you're buying from out of town. So this would be an ideal investment for somebody. 2-bed, 2-bath, and very high rental demand on this home. So let's have a quick look at the numbers on that. It's listed at $367,000, probably sell at about $380,000. That would require $76,000 down. It would rent for about $2,400 a month, probably a little higher than that actually, plus utilities. And when you take out your mortgage and your property taxes and your insurance, your strata fee of $206 a month, you're left with cash flow of about $518 a month. Net income $1,359 and a return on investment, not including appreciation, of 21.5%. And I'm always looking for over a 20% return on investment. I think that's a great return for investors. So house number 2, this is our half duplex. It's in sunny Brocklehurst out by the airport, listed at $399,900. Great yard on this one. Would rent as a full unit. And so you're going to get a lot of family looking for something like this. It's got 3 bedrooms. Close to school, well maintained, lots of updates in this place. The outside could use a little freshener, but it would certainly rent, and you'd have a long lineup of people trying to get into this home. So let's look at the numbers on this one. Probably estimated purchase price, we always guess on this, but $425,000 range. Requires a down payment of only $85,000, so you can get into the market at a lower price point here. Rent would be $2,800 plus utilities. After all your expenses, you'd be cash flowing almost $1,000 a month. $907, net income $1,847, and return on investment 26.1%. This one has an excellent ROI on it. And going to property number 3 here, this is a single family home. This one has a suite in it. It's got 3 bedrooms upstairs, and the suite downstairs right now is only 1 bedroom. But it's got 2 other bedrooms downstairs, which the upstairs tenants are using. And I have to be honest, this one's not currently available because I'm in the midst of buying this one for a Karista client right now. We are in the subject removal phase. So congratulations to that client who's going to own this very soon. Great yard on a bus route. And the basement's really easy to reconfigure so that you have a 3 up, 3 down suite, and then you'd be able to get probably $2,000 up and $1,600 down, and you'd be $3,600 a month on this one. So the numbers on this one listed at $589,900. Estimated purchase price $585,000. Requires $117 down. Currently getting $3,200 a month, but it has potential to get $3,600 a month. After all your expenses, you're cash flowing about $700 a month, just under $2,000 a month in net income, and ROI just over that 20% mark, 20.4%. So that's a great return. These are the kind of opportunities that are available in Kamloops. There's something for everybody. If you're looking for a cheaper investment, I can get that for you. If you're looking for a higher investment, we can obviously do that as well. But always looking for that 20% ROI. And that's my presentation. Thanks, Bernadette.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Doren. And I was going to ask about that final property because I know another person who may be interested. And they said, oh, yeah, that's right. That's not available anymore.
I've got lots more where that came from.
So thank you for that. And we're sorry the number that we showed for John was not right. So we posted the corrected number over there for John. So if you 250-619-9207. Yeah, so that's correct. And then now we're also sharing Doren's contact information. If you want to know more about properties in Kamloops, he's your guy, so there it is. And if you have any questions about those properties, feel free to type it in now, or you can reach out to Doren. Okay, so our next presenter is Jordan. Jordan is close to us over here, and he's going to be talking about Abbotsford in Chilliwack, why some of you would rather invest closer to home. So take it away, Jordan. Oh, Jordan, sorry, you're muted. Still muted. We can't hear you.
How about now?
Now we can. Yay.
All right, there you go. Technology, right?
Yes.
Thanks, Bernadette, for having me. And hello, Karista crew. I'm very happy to be here and speak to all of you about Abbotsford and Chilliwack. I am cheating a little bit, talking about two cities, but they're very close to one another and they share a lot of similarities. So for brevity's sake, I'll stick mostly to Abbotsford, but once again, the Chilliwack neighborhood shares a lot of similarities with that. So I'm Jordan Spitters. I am part of the Eximus real estate team. We are based here in the Fraser Valley and we operate from Surrey through till Hope. We have 7 agents on our team, mostly investor focused, and I live and invest here in Abbotsford. So Abbotsford and Chilliwack, two of my favorite places to invest. So Abbotsford is it's actually the 5th largest population in BC. It's got a population of just under 160,000, and the city is working to increase that population very quickly. It's got about just under 40,000 hectares of land, and it is the largest municipality in BC by land. About 75% of that is locked up in the ALR, though, which means that there's not a ton for development. The median age for Abbotsford is about 40.8, which is slightly under the BC average. So it's a younger city and trending younger as more and more folks are coming out this way, realizing that it is affordable and still has everything right at their fingertips. It was named a knowledgeable, in 2019, Smart 21 Community named it one of the most knowledgeable workforces, one of the most innovative and sustainable cities in the province. And the Conference Board of Canada has recognized Abbotsford as one of the most diverse economies in the country. So here we've got Abbotsford. It is a very long linear city. The freeway runs the whole way along the city here. It's got 5 freeway exits, making it very easy to get in and out. You can be in downtown Vancouver in about 45 minutes once you hop onto the freeway there. We have the Abbotsford Hospital, which employs about 4,000 employees. It's got a world-class cancer care facility, and lots of healthcare professionals will actually travel in to work at that hospital, and folks will come into town specifically to have care there. We also have the Abbotsford International Airport. It is the only international airport outside of Vancouver here in the province, which opens up a lot of opportunities for trade. And we've also got the University of the Fraser Valley. So Abbotsford and Chilliwack are actually university towns, which a lot of people don't realize. So a lot of opportunities there. And then we have convenient border crossings with the States, making trade very easy so we can get those goods over the border nice and easily. Here is an OCP map, or official community plan. This was brought out by the city of Abbotsford a few years back. And as you can see in the center here, The orange and dark red portions are the spots in town that the city of Abbotsford has labeled as development zones. And they are working to increase walkability by increasing density and making the homes basically inwards and upwards, because so much of the land is locked within the agricultural land reserve. It's all used for farmland. There's little area for them to expand outwards. So like I said, inwards and upwards, and that means that the value of the property is really only moving one direction. Here we have a city of Chilliwack map. So in the north section here is Chilliwack proper. And then in the south here, we have Sardis. So Sardis is very beautiful, has a very Whistler Village vibe to it. It's surrounded by mountains, really lovely. There's another UFE campus down in Sardis there. We have the CBS training facility. So that is the RCP Pacific Region Training Center. It's got a salary envelope of about $8.5 million. 1/3 of all first responders will actually cycle through that facility in any given year. They spend about 1 to 4 nights in that facility there, and then they're moving out in the town and they're spending money. The CBS Training Center there rents about 42,000 hotel rooms in any given year. The Molson Brewery recently opened up. That was a $300 million facility, so lots of jobs came in thanks to that, and a lot of good press to the city of Chilliwack. And then we also have a Cultus Lake and tons of recreation around. I'm sure many of you have been to Cultus Lake before. It attracts over 1 million visitors annually, and those folks are heading into the town to buy ice or the floaty they forgot and spending money. Some of the top employers in Abbotsford, as well as Chilliwack, the number one is agriculture. So the city actually earns the highest dollar per acre out of any city in Canada. It's actually the raspberry capital of Canada. And we are, in fact, the agricultural capital of Canada. We outpace the Niagara region in production, and it accounts for about $1.8 billion in economic activity. Roughly 25% of the city's GDP, is agricultural activity. It's well positioned for growth and investment in existing and new markets as more developers are coming in and we have more processors bringing new products out to the world. The Abbotsford International Airport, another top employer I mentioned there. It's the home to the International Air Show. It was named one of the top air shows in the world and attracts about 100,000 visitors a year. In 2019, we had a little over 1 million passengers move through that airport. They are currently expanding a new 14,000 square foot terminal. And in the next 5 years, they're expecting about 4,000 technical workers, structural technicians, trades, laborers, and the like. So excellent opportunity there as well. Education is one of the next top employers here in Abbotsford. So the University of the Fraser Valley has multiple campuses in Abbotsford, Chilliwack, as well as Mission. About 14,000 students will attend University of Fraser Valley in any given year and employs about 1,400 employees. The University of Fraser Valley's economic impact is roughly $500 million a year, and they have seen an increase in international students by about 30% year over year. They're very much focusing on international student enrollment. And the reason being is that in 2018 and 19, about $21.5 billion came into the country because of international students. Now, we can have a more in-depth discussion about whether or not you'd want to rent to students or student housing in general. But the fact of the matter is that they're coming into these cities. They are taking up the rental supply and driving up demand. So whether you're renting to them or not, you're in a good position. So some of the other top employers that we have are construction. We have 5 federal penitentiaries employing quite a few service people and guards there. We have film and television, healthcare. Once again, I mentioned the hospital employing about 4,000 employees, tourism, technology, and food and beverage processing. We just finished a new provincial Supreme Courthouse. It's about a $52 million project, and it will be housing numerous federal agencies over the next few years. So the residents of Abbotsford, about 62% of them actually live and work right in town. And they only have about a 6 kilometer, average commute, which means they're not spending a ton of time on the road or in other cities. They're actually living and working right here. Some of the other places where they will go to work outside is Surrey, Langley, and once again Chilliwack. A lot of folks moving back and forth between Abbotsford and Chilliwack, working in one and living in the other. And we have a median household income as of 2020 of just under 84,000. Now, it's a healthy income, but in this neighborhood or the Fraser Valley in general, where average home prices are about 850,000 for a detached, about 600,000 for a 3-bedroom townhouse, and give or take 400 to 450 for a 2-bedroom condo, a newer one anyway. That means that most families are no longer able to afford even a townhouse, let alone detached, which means we're creating a generation of renters. So if you happen to have rental product, once again, you'll be in a good spot. Vacancies in Abbotsford have been basically 0% for coming up on 5 years or more now. Over the last year, we've seen between 5 to 8% increase year over year in average rents. Studios are now renting for over $1,350 a month in Abbotsford. 1 bedroom's at $1,400, 2 bedrooms at $1,800, and it does seem to be missing. Oh, there we go. 3 bedrooms are now renting for $2,600 or more. So very healthy increases there. When we're looking at the statistics as far as sell-through rates, average price increases over the last year here within Abbotsford, we can see that between December and roughly end of March, early April, we had very, very low inventory, a very high sell-through rate. And as you can see there, the average home prices increased from about $970,000 up to about 1.14. It has decreased just ever so slightly as we've had more inventory come on the market, as we get into the spring market here. More and more folks have started listing now that COVID is finally calming down a little bit and there's less worry out in the marketplace. So we're starting to see more opportunities. But the good properties, I call them the A properties, are still selling through very quickly. If, for instance, it's in a good location, has a basement suite, shows well, priced well, it's still going to be sold very quickly, potentially in multiple offers. Whereas the B and C properties, maybe not necessarily the best looking home, but still in a good location. Now we're starting to see opportunity to negotiate on those. And I've always been a fan of saying it's the ugly homes that make the most money anyway. So I'm a big fan of that. Same sort of idea with townhouses. Once again, very low inventory has driven the price up as folks were competing over listings. However, that has started to calm down a little bit as more inventory hits. And finally, now we are starting to see condos see the increase that they have been missing out on for about the last 2 years. Condo prices in Abbotsford and Chilliwack have been fairly flat for about 2 years. However, we're starting to see fairly sizable increases over the last 3 months. Average price went from 300 or so thousand all the way up to 360. So I have some condo owning clients that are breathing sighs of relief finally. Very similar trends if we look at the sell-through rates in Chilliwack, steady increases in the wintertime because of low inventory, and the same idea when we're looking at townhouses, and once again, when we're looking at the condos in Chilliwack as well. Some opportunities that we've got in both the cities. Here's one that I'm pretty happy or pretty excited about. This is a 3-bedroom condo in the center of Abbotsford. So it's located on George Ferguson Way and Gladwin. List price is $330,000. I'm confident you could get it up for about $320,000. It's a 3-bedroom condo, about 1,160 square feet. It is currently rented at $2,000 a month, which means a net cash flow of about $135,000 or $135 a month, monthly after all expenses, property taxes, property manager, all of that. And you've got a net return on investment of about 11%. However, I've been told that this particular building is working on decreasing the strata fees by about $100 to $150 a month, which will significantly increase the value of the unit, but also increase your return on investment to about 14%. So big fan of that. Here is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home built in 2016, Rosebery Road in Sardis. Really nice location, very sought after location in Sardis. Huge lot, about 15,000 square foot lot. Closing costs for this one would be just over $200,000. You'd have a rental income of about $2,800, so that you're getting about $2,500 for the upstairs and $1,300 for the downstairs. A net income monthly of about $940 after all expenses, and you're looking at a return on investment in your first year of just under 14.5%. And keep in mind, none of these have appreciation built into them at all. Over the last 60 years, we've seen properties within Abbotsford and Chilliwack, the values have increased about 6% year over year. So very healthy appreciation long term. Second Ave in Chilliwack. This is a half duplex. I'm a huge fan of the half duplexes with basement suites. This is a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home built in 2003. It's about 2,800 square feet. Lot's not huge, about 4,000 square feet. Total cash required to close would be $150,000. You can pick it up for about $685K. This one has rental income of $3,400 a month. So you get about $1,300 for the downstairs and $2,100 upstairs. However, having spoken to my property manager just the other day, he was confident you could actually get $2,300 for the upstairs, bringing the total monthly income closer to $3,600 a month and increasing that ROI from 15% up to about 17-18%. Positive cash flow just over $750 a month. Next one here, Wellington Ave Chilliwack. You can pick this one up for about $900,000. 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home built in 2008. Total cash you'd need to close on this one would be just under $200,000. You'd have about $3,900 a month in total income, positive cash flow of just over $420 a month, and a net return on investment of 11.5%. And here we have, oh, you know what? I feel like I'm missing one. I am missing one. That's okay. So this is actually our a success story I had with a Karista client. So they purchased this home in November of 2019. It was a new build, and they took possession of it in February of they took wrote the offer in November of 2020, and they took possession February 2021. So only about 4 months ago, and it took about 6 months to build. They purchased it after GST for about $720,000. This property is now worth about $950,000, about 6 months later. So it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, brand new. It is a 2,150 square foot home on a 3,600 square foot lot. 3 bedrooms up, 1 bathroom, 1 bedroom down. They're getting $1,200 for the downstairs and $2,300 for the upstairs, bringing the total monthly income to $3,500 and a 13.4% return on investment in year one, with just under $600 a month positive cash flow. However, now that the rents have gone up, when they go to re-rent this property, when the upstairs tenants leave, they'll be able to increase the upstairs rent there to over $2,500 a month, bringing positive cash flow in excess of $780 a month. So really happy about that one. We do those statistics monthly, and we send out a blog post monthly as well, breaking those down. And I also send out on a weekly basis my hot properties or my top picks of best properties. So if you're interested in that, feel free to connect with me. I'm always happy to get you set up to receive those. Thanks so much, guys. Hope you found that educational. I always love talking about investing anywhere, especially Abbotsford and Chilliwack. So thanks again for having me.
Thank you, Jordan, and thank you for featuring that client. Yeah, he's over the moon with that purchase. So we're also posting the contact information for Jordan. So if you want to know more about those properties, or you want to know more about Abbotsford and Chilliwack, feel free to reach out to him. One of the things that you had mentioned, Jordan, earlier was investor focused. And I think it's the same with John and the same with Doren. Not all realtors are created alike. Some of them are not investor focused. I've had a client who actually was working with a realtor, and when the client asked the realtor, okay, I want to purchase in Abbotsford. And the realtor said, what did Bernadette say about how much is the rental income? I'm like, what did that happen?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they shouldn't have to be going to the mortgage broker to find that out. They should just be able to pull that out right away.
Exactly, but you guys know your area. You know the trend. You know the vacancy rate. You know the rental income in the area, and so that's helpful. We again, for all of you who are watching, we have a real estate investing webinar on Sunday para po sa mga Pilipino. Tagalog po ito kasi po marami pong hindi maintindihan ang investment or not hindi maintindihan. So it's just can be confusing. So gusto po namin mag-guide po kayo, maturuan kayo para naman malaman ninyo kung gaano kadili magkaroon ng pangalawang property, pangatlo, pang-apat dito sa Canada. So please join us po. Free po ito para po exclusive sa mga Pilipino. So join us po. Yan po yung link para po sa Sunday na po yan. Okay, so guys, we have some questions here. We don't have any questions from the audience, but we have some questions here from for past, present investors. The first question is, some viewers are unsure or too afraid about buying outside where they live. Where they live now. So how would you address this concern? Let's start with you, John.
Sure. Yeah, I think a few things when you're buying outside of where you live now. Number one is which you've already alluded to, is Bernadette, is that you need to be working with a agent that has experience in the investment market and that you have an ultra high level of trust with, because you're going to have to really lean on their calibration and opinion of value more than the market that you're familiar with. So that's super important. And then point number two around that is just making sure that that experienced agent that you're working with can connect you to an experienced property management company that are going to take on a lot of the responsibility with the nuances of managing a investment that you're not there to look after yourself.
Okay, Doren?
It's a good question, but it has a lot of different parameters underneath it that need to be answered per client. I used to do a lot of stock market analysis and research. Everybody has a different level of risk. For those who are willing to take on a little more risk, I mean, the vacancy.
Sorry. Okay, there you go.
No problem. The vacancy rate allows people to do their own property management if they want to maximize their return. If they're a little more risk adverse, certainly we have property managers that work on our properties. And I would certainly put someone who's more risk adverse into newer properties that have lower maintenance and allows them the ability to have basically a worry-free investment that just provides monthly cash flow. So it really depends on the client. And that's one of the first questions I have for them is, how much risk do you want to take on? Do you want to maximize your return, or are you looking for something that is basically worry-free?
Very good answer. Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, Doren makes a good point. It's always worthwhile to have that conversation and find out, what the risk profile is and the level of involvement that a client wants to have. Let's say they want hands-off. I actually just finished one where the client lives down in the States. We did video walkthroughs of the property. We negotiated the price she was happy with, closed, set up property management, set up renovations, everything without her having to be here. So it was completely turnkey without even being a brand new property. So our role really is just to make it as straightforward, as simple as possible so that you don't have that burden.
Well, I think the bottom line that I heard from each and every one of you, everybody's different for sure, risk tolerance and what have you. And it's very important to work with experts because if it's already outside your area and you're working with a non-expert, well, you just quadruple 10 times the risk that you're taking, because it's like the blind leading the blind. They really don't know what you're buying. So that's very, very important. I always tell everyone, if you work with someone based on values, you will never go wrong. But if you will work with someone based on money, chances are 90% of the time, something's going to go down in that situation. Jordan, we have a question here from Alfred. Jordan, any updates on how much my rental property went up? I don't know if you remember his property.
Of course I do. Second half, yeah. Fantastic purchase. I can't quite remember how much he purchased it for. I think it was 600 or so. That one's worth about 900,000 now. That was a year and a half later. I don't think
Yeah.
it's been 2 years.
It's a year. I think we
A year.
closed June. Yeah, because I remember his situation because unlike everybody else who stepped back during COVID, he was actively looking. He was looking April, May, like everybody's hiding, and he was out there looking for property. So looks like it's time to refi, take some equity and purchase in any of these areas next, Alfred. So thank you for that question. Next question is, do you have a property manager? All of you, of course, the people who are buying will be far from the areas that you are specializing in. Do you have a property manager you work with closely that you can recommend? Let's start with Jordan first.
Yes, absolutely. I do have a property manager I recommend. Is part of the Karista network. Charges about 6%, which is significantly lower than your typical property management cost, which is anywhere from 8 to 10%. And then he also waives some fees for Karista clients as well, so it's quite a bit cheaper for you. What I really like about him is that careful how I say this. Some property managers will put a tenant in there that may or may not be market rent in order to make sure that property is tenanted so that they get paid. A good property manager will work with you and treat that property tenancy like a listing. And they will wait until they get the proper market rent for it and aren't afraid of maybe a month's vacancy to make sure you get the best tenant paying the best rate and will stay long term. That's why I really like working with Joseph, my property manager.
Well, that's a very good point because once you have a tenant in, it's hard to kick them out. So I'd rather wait a month and get market rents instead of quickly rent it in. And then, oh my gosh, I have to take this really cheap rent for how long?
One interesting conversation I have with property managers often is I'll say, I think it's worth this. Say it's 2,000. The property manager, no, probably only 17 or 18. And that happens fairly often. Whereas when I talk to Joseph, I'll say, yeah, I think it's about 2,000. He's like, no, I think I can get more than that, which is, night and day difference. So he looks out for his clients and he really does try to get the maximum out of the property possible.
Beautiful. Oh, there you go. And actually, Joseph is one of our panelist speakers on Sunday for the real estate investing webinar. So if you want to join us, you'll hear more about Joseph there. Okay, Doren, what about you? Is there anybody that you work with there in Kamloops? Because we do have investors that are very interested in your area right now.
Yeah, I certainly have a property manager that I'm close with. She takes on all of the clients I've sent her so far. As was just said, she's constantly getting the most amount of rent, and I sometimes feel guilty with how much people are making in rent nowadays. And but she continues to beat my expectations on the rental she can get in there. And the great thing about the market right now is there's so many applications. You can choose the absolute star tenant, and you can get someone great in there that you don't have to worry about. So yes, if someone does want a property manager, I can certainly get them set up.
I love what you said about guilty about the rent that they're getting, because I know for a fact that for our investors, they can't believe that people will actually pay that rent. But knowing a good property manager certainly will be able to confirm and make that rental income happen. John?
Yeah, I mean, ditto. We've got a team of property management companies here in our Central Island market that are reputable, know what they're doing. I love what Jordan has to say about the differential in the property managers, and we experience that here as well. So just like in any professional advisement capacity, make sure you're interviewing multiple parties, and we've got a good list to work off of. And there is some great property managers here locally. We don't have a Joseph. I wish we did, but we've got the next best thing.
Awesome. Thanks, John. And Alfred said kudos to Jordan and Joseph. Job well done. So thank you for that shout out. Okay, next question is, what is the one tip or piece of advice that you would like to leave to people who are still thinking about real estate investing? Let's start with you, Doren.
Ooh, good question. My advice would be don't miss the bus. You can get on that bus anytime, but those that continue to stand outside the bus and wish that they got on the bus continue to watch these shows and say, oh, I just missed $100,000. I just missed $200,000. So my advice is the best time to invest in real estate is today. The market's going to continue to go up over the long term. We may see a short-term dip after all these crazy prices, but in the long term, prices are going up. Rental rates are certainly going up, and returns are fantastic. So why not get into real estate today?
Yeah, and I love what you said about missing that, the bus. It's become a rocket ship for some people. So that they've missed. But the thing is, over the past, I've been doing this 18 years. None of my investors ever regretted buying a property. So what does that say? Like, you're not going to make a mistake buying. You're mostly going to make a mistake not buying, or when you sell. Ugh. I wish I did sell all those properties I had. But anyway, that's another topic. Jordan.
Mine is actually very similar. And I would say quit it. Quit trying to time the market. It's about time in the market, not timing the market. So yeah, stop making excuses and get out there and start buying some property.
You're not going to make a mistake. Okay, take it away. Let's close it off, John.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jordan, great advice there. I think you don't waste your time trying to figure out when you get into the market. You can certainly time when you get out of the market, and that's the key to real estate investing. The other thing I say is the example I use for real estate is one of a boat in the wind and being on the ocean. It's a good one. So if you're trying to catch up to the sailboat that's blowing away by saving money for the down payment to get into the dream property, what I say is get into the first property that you can afford. So you might not be in the sailboat, but you're at least holding on to a line attached to the sailboat. So as that market grows, you're at least dragging along with it. If you're not in the boat or even attached to the boat in some way with just a piece of the action, you can't swim fast enough, which is you can't save fast enough to get into that boat that's running away with the speed of the wind. So there's no better time than now, and just make sure though that you can stand the test of time and take control your cash flow while you're in, so that you can time the exit. And as long as you can stay in control of your exit timing, you can't lose.
No, absolutely not. Cliff, yes, just saying hello. Thank you for saying hello. And before we end, we have one question from Alvin Ross Aquino. We need data for due diligence, like rental data, growing area, future growth. This is why they're here. These gentlemen, they have all of this data for you. So Alvin, if you are interested in knowing more in this specific area for that, and first they'll ask you what your needs are first. They have to know you first, and they're not just going to throw a bunch of rental data, growing area, future growth. They don't even know what your needs are, what your dreams are, and all of that. So they're going to sit down with you, understand your needs, what your goals are, and then give you those data. They are experts. They specialize in this. So they are the best guys to contact. We have their information here. You have their link. So if you want to know more about Jordan's area, go to Jordan for what you need. Go to Doren for the area, about all those data. And then, of course, go to John for the Nanaimo and the island area about all of that. They have that. Other realtors may not. They'd be like, you just Google it. Google it. Try Googling something. 6 billion hits. So anyway, so I hope that answers that. Again, just a reminder, Sunday we have our real estate investing webinar. We're going to share with you why it's a good idea, how to do it, the mistakes that you should be making sure you avoid when it comes to investing in real estate, and also the do's and don'ts if you plan on becoming a landlord. We have a lawyer who's going to be speaking. We have a property manager, and meron din po tayong accountant that's going to be on the panel. So please join us on Sunday. Thank you, John. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Doren. I always appreciate you guys, and please continue to take care of our investors. I think we have a few of them that we're emailing you shortly, who's very interested in your area. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Oh, wait. Apparently, I have to say this. Follow us on social media, Facebook. We have the link here, Facebook and Instagram, and YouTube, please. Thank you, everyone. Okay, bye.